Hi there. Let's see if I'm live or not, because OBS is telling me some bullshit. Totally live. Ooh. Shadows. Sorry about that. Not a lot I can do. Let's see. Got a light, but it doesn't have a stand. It's a light clip on my computer, but I hate it that way. Front light. Ooh, not really helping. Is it at all? It's casting more shadows over here where I'm cooking. Not good. Hi there, I'm September, also known as 9 to 12. Looking to get lit up better. Here to do some cooking. Show you how easy things can be. That's the goal. That's a little better. There we go. So yeah, you can find all my stuff at 9of12.com. It's at ineof12.com. If you turn this music down, I think it's a little too loud. Want to find all my shows? I do a drinking show, I do a gaming show, I've done a politics and religion show, I've been on America's Next Top Podcaster. I had Geek Grills for a really long time. Yeah, cool shows. So what are we going to cook today? And I'm sorry I haven't been around much. I've had a series of health issues, which happens, which is why I don't have a regular schedule. It's Friday night. My husband's at a gig, so I skipped this one. I normally mix his sound, but it's a really small place, like cash only small. And if tomorrow's gig doesn't get canceled, I'm going to go to that one. So I thought, hey, I'll stream. I've been wanting to, and my skin has been coming apart and all kinds of stuff, so that hasn't happened recently. Last time was at Wing the Sauce. I did enter the competition, by the way. That'll be on the 22nd of August. I'll let you know how it goes. But tonight I'm going to make pretzels, soft pretzels. Gosh, things keep coming up on TMS. There was a discussion of soft pretzels. I think that was on the Monday show. Yeah, that was Carter and Scott, the Monday show, talking about soft pretzels and what their favorite ones were. And these are really actually easy to make. I've watched someone else make them on stream before. I've made them a bunch of times at home, and I've used the same recipe to make pretzel rolls for like hot dogs, hamburgers, and stuff. So I remember when I saw another streamer doing them, I was like, I have that cookbook, and I jumped up and started making them, made them along. So you could do that too. I haven't prepped a lot ahead of time. I've got my pot of water for doing the boil. It's just instant baking soda. Everything you need here is warm water. I got a cup and a half of that here. Yeast, brown sugar. Let me get that. Butter, flour, obviously, salt, and an egg. So, pretty easy. So that's all you're going to need. Let's get started on this dough. Stream's going to be a little longer than an hour today. I know I usually try to keep it to an hour, but the dough has to rest for an hour. I'll put the Discord in so the bot wakes up, and you're always welcome to join me in my Discord and friends there to talk about cooking and stuff. Yeah, so these, and then I made like Indian-ish food today because another streamer was talking about Indian food and I got a craving. It's really great to be able to like crave something and make it, right? It's another reason to learn to cook. Save you a lot of money, and especially when it's stuff that, like, you have the ingredients in the house. Like, let's go. It's a very satisfying thing. I also smoked some bacon the other day. It's beautiful. You can see pictures of it in my Discord. My kids made pizza tonight, and they used some of my bacon on their pizzas. And I do still have to trim that up and store the carbonara bits, but I'm not going to do all that on stream. So, I got to warm this water up. This is a cup and a half of water. I'm going to use the microwave. 'Cause I have a kettle, but I don't have all that much space on my work area here for streaming. What can we else? Let me tell you about these cups. So the cup I just put in the microwave, I've got 2 cup size and I have a 4 cup size. I went to TJ Maxx and it made me so happy. Look, it's got spiders and bats and kinds of cool spooky things all over it. This one, the big one, I found just with the bowls and coffee cups. And then the small one I found on like a rolling cart in the middle of an aisle with clearance stuff. And they matched. And I was like, mine. I actually went looking, because Halloween stuff is starting to show up in stores. I went looking for, kitchen stuff. But some of my plates are chipped. And if you've seen my plates, I've got Nightmare Before Christmas ones and ones with skulls and flowers. And, some have chips now. So figured I could replace them. I've got some already stirred away, other replacements. We don't want this too hot. I'm going to stir it up. For the full-size dinner plates, but I need more bowls and things. It's a little hotter than I want it, even though I did it only for a minute. So let's put things in here that aren't going to be killed right away. Now what I'm doing is I'm blooming the yeast. This is something that, even if the recipe doesn't call for it, whenever you're making a dough, it can be really useful to do. For one, so you don't waste anything or waste much if your yeast doesn't bloom. I'll show you what that looks like. It gets a little like foamy. And but if you take like a pinch of sugar or honey or whatever you use in your dough, even if it doesn't call for it, a pinch isn't going to hurt anything. But put that in some warm water and the yeast will foam up, and then you know it's good, because supposedly they're dated, right? You always get date on your yeast, but not always true. Sometimes it's been through some conditions and it dies. So let's stir this up. I'm going to get the sugar dissolved anyway. Brown sugar is a little coarser. I could put it in this bowl. You can do this in this bowl. I'm just trying to do it in this cup so I can show you. It calls for 2 teaspoons of yeast. A packet is normally like 2 1/4. It's not going to make that big a difference. I have a little bit of extra yeast in here. So I'm going to stir this up pretty good. 1/4 teaspoon is probably going to be stuck to my spoon anyway. And give this a few minutes to get a little bit foamy. The yeast has to like hydrate and soften first, and then it'll start to grow, and then it gives off gas, which is the whole reason you put yeast in rising doughs and breads. All those bubbles in your bread are little yeast farts. Bubbles in your beer, yeast farts. It's already pretty cloudy, so I'm pretty confident this is going to be foaming up decently. As long as I didn't make it too... I can get my finger in there so it's not too hot. It's not going to like kill it. But so let's... when that gets foamy, I'll put it in here. In the meantime, I'm going to quick melt this butter because that's going to go in the dough, actually. 1/4 cup of butter, which is a half a stick. Full stick. Again, handy use your knife. I'll show you what else I got at TJ Maxx. Oh my gosh, dudes. Look. Again, in the just normal stuff, I'm gonna, like, not with a Halloween display yet, but they're like oil and vinegar bottles. I'll probably use them for shrubs and simple syrups. How great for bartending, and they've got bats. Adding to the witchy kitchen stuff. Okay, not super foamy, but it does have a foam on the top, so my yeast is alive. I'm going to put that in the bowl. Go get my butter. Butter doesn't want to be melted yet. It's okay. It's got time. Started from fridge, so needs a little smooshing to properly melt. Just another 10 seconds. Ooh. Okay, so just want to make sure I don't have any clumps in here. We're going to need 4 cups of flour. Yeah. And it's just regular all-purpose flour. I should move the camera so you can see what's going on there with our foamy yeasty liquids. I got some new measuring cups too. They're nothing special, but it's a set that I'm going to keep here in the cooking setup so that the kids don't keep just putting them all in weird places when they do the dishes. Don't use. Okay, so we're going to do this into a workable soft dough that's not sticky, and then we're going to bring it out on the counter and knead it a little bit. And, let me see. Make sure to check my thing. Put it in a bowl, and I'm going to stick it in an oven even though it's off with the light on, which is a good place to proof dough if you didn't know. For about an hour, and then start on the water bath. Get that going, and then I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna make a beer cheese dip, yummy, for our pretzels. Yeah, I'm scooping it out of here because it didn't get put in the jar. Should I got the dough hook out? Maybe. Is it gonna need more flour? Yes. Because that is still looking really sticky. We start to pull away from the side though. It's about where we want it. Yeah. Now it says knead for several minutes. My hands and my wrists, they don't like all that much. So I'm going to let this do some of the work. The dough hook does need a little better, but this looks like it's working it around nicely. Flour on our surface. You know, I've been coming up on TikTok with these, like, you clip them on your drawer, and I have a drawer right here now. Little trash bins. I really think I need to get one of those. Yeah. Go off. Go off, bro. Alright. I'm definitely working some flour to this because it's a little stickier than I want. Let's get rid of this. The kids love it when I make a big mess like this, let me tell you. Because dishes are their job. Yeah, definitely needs more flour. I'm going to give all this flour to it. All right. Put the butter in, right? Let me get more flour and my scraper. Oh boy. Did I put enough flour, guys? Did I count 4? Please tell me I counted 4. Because it's acting like 3. But, you know, like not the end of the world. I want to get this so it's getting on the springy side. How do they describe it? They say, turn it on lightly, flour starters knead for several minutes until the dough bounces back when poked. That's it. Not that hard. Making a mess of my drawer. To get my baking paper because I don't want to leave any of this behind either. Oh, it's pretty and springy. Oh. Yep, contaminate everything. It's me. So, dough is always going to do that though. It's humid where I am. So, and I'm at slightly elevated place. And both those things will affect the way flour behaves when you use it. But once you've done this kind of thing a few times, you get a feel. And like the recipe said, right? I'm getting it to a point where it's springy and you don't want it sticky. So if it's still sticking to your surface, don't be afraid to add more flour. Can you get it too dry? I'm sure you could, but got more leeway than you think to do. People are afraid of baking. just like they're afraid of cooking. Some people think they can do one and not the other. I used to kind of be like that. I thought that baking was just, you have to be so precise. And, you know, cooking, I'm going more to taste. And I thought I wasn't up to, I don't know, snuff for baking. And that turns out to be baloney. You have plenty of leeway in baking as well. Because I had to start making bread because I didn't like the bread around here when I moved to North Carolina. I said it before, I'll say it again. For the South, for having bread, at least one kind of every freaking meal, I don't think they're very good at it. I grew up in an area of New York with a lot of Polish and Italian immigrants, and I am used to bread with a lovely crust. And the bread here was all kind of just soft for me. And didn't appreciate it. So, started making my own. Not all the time. I mean, for sandwiches we use store-bought bread. But when I want a good crusty roll, I usually have to make it myself. Or do a neat cheater thing I learned about from making bread. That awesome crust on like a baguette. Or if you like your Kaisers, crisp, crunchy. So when you bake your bread, when you throw it in, you throw like a tablespoon or a shot glass of water in the oven to get a steam on it, and when that burns off, it gives you this nice crunchy crust on your bread. I think I got that tip from the Mark Bittman How to Cook Everything book, which I will always recommend given the opportunity. I use the shit out of that book. Doesn't have everything, but man, its track record for me wanting to try something and checking the How to Cook Everything and it being there is pretty solid. I think we're getting there. Okay, my son is texting me back. It's funny. I was asking him, I want a instant read thermometer, like the gun kind. And I know, we had discussed it before, there's a particular brand he trusts. And I texted to ask him about it, and he's just texting me now. Alright. I poke it and it springs back. Almost. It sprang back, but not all the way. I think I want to give this a little more. Along with the boiling, which happens with these, which gives it the color, this kneading gives you some of your spring that you want. Or your chew, in your pretzel. I hate when I go and get a bagel and it's like, oh my god, did you skip the boiling or some shit? Because it tastes like it's just cake or bread. It doesn't have that nice chew that a good pretzel or bagel has. So did they not knead it enough? Did they not boil it? I don't know. Okay, how are we looking? Springs back nicely. So let's get this in an oiled bowl. It's another thing I got when I was in Raleigh recently. Great big metal bowl that I figure will be very useful for the wing competition. Wing sauce competition, I should say. I want to be able to toss wings for people. Even though the tasting as described, I don't know, they want you to give people a chicken wing and squirt a little of your sauce on it. So I'm going to have a little bit of an issue with the toffee sauce not quite working that way. But I'll figure it out. And this bowl is potentially perfect. So we don't need flour anymore. Don't need the KitchenAid anymore. Let's get some shit out of the way, shall we? I'm going to keep this for cutting the dough later when we shape it. And boy, they're easier to shape than you might expect. Always the first time you follow directions with making pretzels, like, what? do you and then what? But I'll show you. Anyone who is watching this late or wants to watch it late, which will only keep this posted for a little while, a couple weeks or something, or a month, not really sure. I do archive everything on YouTube, so feel free to always go back and check recipes that I've done previously. There. Okay. So, we have 10 cups of water in this pot. I do the dangerous thing and move around with boiling water later because I want to get this beer cheese started. And I've just got this burner to work with for our cooking setup here. Well, let me see. I'm going to plug it in and then decide if I'm going to put this in the kitchen to get to boil. Nah, it's plenty of room. Okay. Turn that all the way up. We're going to bring that to a boil and then shut it off. And then, let me see what it says here. 10 cups of water, boil. And then add baking soda. Some baking soda. How much? Wait a minute. Butter, salt. Let's use butter, flour. Oh, 2/3 of a cup of baking soda. We'll go in there, we'll mix it around, and then we're going to be dipping our pretzels and putting them on parchment paper to bake and stuff. So in the meantime, I'm just going to start that boiling. Take it from heat, stir in the baking soda, and then we'll start making pretzels. Cool. So let's make sure everything else is pretty ready to go. All that starts to boil, and then I'll make the beer cheese dip. We have plenty of time. Oh, Alexa, set a timer for an hour.
1 hour timer started.
Cool. Beer. This would be so good. This would be so good. Now you can use different cheeses in this, like put some goat cheese in it, put some Gouda in it, put some spicy cheese in it. I didn't get milk. It's okay. Let's get some spices. Maybe some paprika. For any cheese, and I think I talked about this in the macaroni and cheese episode. And we're going to be using a roux again, so another method for you for this cheese sauce. Mustard, without tasting like just making it taste like mustard, will give a little boost to your cheese sauce. just a little cayenne. But that will almost always add spice. Cutting board. Let's get rid of stuff we don't need. Right now, this is just some sharp cheddar from Aldi. This is a New York extra sharp from that I got at BJ's. I think it is the Quickly Jensen brand, and I like a nice sharp cheese for sauces for any number of reasons. Okay, let's see. There's a little pan, a little saucepan. I'm gonna have to get some butter. This is gonna be pretty close to the recipe that is in the Little Warcraft cookbook. It's not gonna be exact. Can't be bothered. I think it probably makes way more than I really need for a couple of us. I like mustard on my pretzels. Yeah, I'm gonna probably get about half it. And I don't have any milk, but that's okay. I'm gonna use, I got heavy cream. So we're gonna golden butter, beer, milk. Yeah. Guys, it's gonna be easy. Easy, easy. I'll get the flour. I almost grabbed a bowl. I did grab a bowl to throw my egg in earlier, like a genius, and didn't realize it had. My son had put it. He made the bacon he made for the pizza, and then you just toss it in the cupboard, like the bowl, the greasy bowl that bacon bits had been sitting in as a pizza topping. So I had to rewash my egg. Again, not that big a deal. I have to wash my eggs anyway because I get my eggs from a local person who keeps chickens. My friend Erin, who is also a vet tech. Oh, I can't see chat. Hi. So, how many cups of cheese does normally have? Like 4, right? 3 cups, so I only need a cup and a half. So it will be pretty much the WOW recipe, just I'm not gonna measure as much as guesstimate and to taste things. I'm gonna use some of the yellow cheese just to get some yellow in it, although I could add some annatto. I think I have some, or turmeric or whatever. I know someone related to someone who used to freak out, only get white cheese because they put all this food coloring in your cheese. Literally, it's look at the ingredients. I've never seen a cheddar, a yellow cheese that had like food coloring in it. It's usually just annatto, which is a seed, and it's very yellow. Okay, let's get some flour in here. And like we have said before, when when you're doing a roux, we want about the same amount of butters and flour. So I had a little over a tablespoon of each. And we're going to cook that up until it's golden. Don't burn it. Take the opportunity to make sure it doesn't get all the little lumps out. But just for the sake of being prettier, I'm gonna go ahead and do yellow and white for my cheese. I'll put these both in the same bag. Have I ever said this? When you put cheese away in the fridge, give it some air. It's a living thing. I know y'all worried about mold. It'll mold anyway. If you shrink wrap it, I can seal it. Go crazy, just use it up anytime. Don't worry about that, but for the most part, you do want to give it some air. All right. Wish the colors were better here. I do want this to get a little more golden and get that flour taste cooked out. I'm going to use a Labatt's Blue from Canada in my beer cheese. I'll use about half of this can. Now it says salt and pepper to taste. I will definitely use white pepper. If I add pepper to this at the end, all the spices go in at the end. You don't have to be too super scared of this turning colors. Let's move it here. When you make a roux for a gumbo or whatever, you go all the way to like a dark brown and chocolatey. It'll keep getting browner and browner. But we're not just doing the quick white sauce bechamel white. We do want to get it a little golden, and you can afford that because it's beer and cheese and strong flavors you're adding. And it'll add a little extra something, a layer of nuttiness to your cheese sauce. I smell the nuttiness. And my burner's doing the weird, like, I'm electric. I'm going to kick on and off to stay up to temp. And this light is now really way too bright. We don't need that, right? I'm okay in the darkness. Are we okay with the spooky? I turn it this way. Definitely done with the grater. Are you excited? This is going to be an easy, like, Friday night snack. I don't. If I thought I'd be done in time. Okay, it's definitely turned like a nice golden at this point. Turn it. Yeah, it's up. Let's put my beer in. It says half can, but this is well, it says a can, but this is like a 16 ounce, right? If we're all done tonight, and we probably won't be, I would definitely take this with me to like over to Bottles and Taps and share with people. That would make me so happy. Whew. Garlic powder. Now it says you can add these at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this spices now, so they have time to hydrate. So I'm getting an honest taste. This is my ground mustard. Some paprika. And that's thickened up nicely. A little more beer, because I want it to be beery. You ever get beer cheese or beer cheese soup or something at a restaurant? It doesn't Holy shit, that's annoying. It's really annoying me. Anyway, I'm like, why bother calling it that? I'm going to use heavy cream instead of milk. This is why I add a little more beer. So like a 1/4 cup. Yeah. Which I'm going to guesstimate. It's thickened, so it's boiling, so it's the full thickness you're going to get from that part. About a 1/4 cup. Y'all may think that'll help the tent again. And then we'll add our cheese, guys. That's it. Oh no, a little dash of Worcester. Just a smidge. What's this here sauce? So this is not far from the base of, you could make a beer cheese soup. Adding some like broth, chicken or vegetable broth. I figured out, you don't want that out some years ago too. Okay, I'm gonna put a smidge more Worcester, smidge more garlic, smidge more mustard, because I want it tasty. Not gonna add salt until the very end because cheese is salty. Newsflash. Pearl Street Brewing in Buffalo, New York has really, really good beer cheese soup. And it's like smoked Gouda in it. Oh my god, so good. And I got to craving it one day, and then I decided to try to make it. I will advise you about the beer in this. Even though it's a Pilsner, Pat's Blue is a good just beer. You don't want to put an IPA in here. You don't want anything super, super malty. Something malty is fine. If you like that kind of thing, you could put a stout in here or a porter. And that makes a different flavor, but a good flavor. And now we put in our cheese. Also, I wouldn't recommend, and I'm going to switch utensils, pre-grated cheese for this because it doesn't melt as good. Now, the roux we made, the flour butter situation, is going to make that so we get a smooth cheese sauce. And I said, hey, I'm going to put some pepper. I'm going to use white pepper. Ooh, that was maybe too much. Okay, I'll pinch that off. That'll keep it from just like, if you just melt cheese on something and it breaks, and it's just oily mess. Getting a cheese sauce, that roux is the key thing to it. But when you buy pre-shredded cheeses, they coat them so they don't stick to each other. And just like plant stuff, you'll be like, oh my god, it's wood pulp, whatever. It's cellulose. It's not a big deal. And that does mess with your melting into a nice, creamy, smooth product with the cheese sauce. I probably mentioned it in that episode too. But we bring this up to temp and taste. It's mostly melted, so I can taste now, but I gotta get it. I don't want to burn myself. Oh, yeah. All right. Nope, doesn't need any salt. Yeah, buddy. We already have my germs in this house. I'm not going to be tasting spoon blah, blah, blah. You know what? A smidge of salt. But it's not really needed. But I've got salt that I smoke in my smoker. And if I add any, it's going to be a little bit of that. Add a dimension. There we have it, guys. And that will, yep, thicken when it's a little cooler. And that's the other thing to keep in mind if it's a dipping sauce for pretzels. Be careful not to make this too salty because you're going to have salt on your pretzels. Okay, Oktoberfest. Here we are. Now, let's move some stuff. This is Dunzo. I might put some in a cruet to dip it at the end for pictures and tasting with y'all. And let's move our onto the big burner, hopefully accelerate that some. Alright, clean up, everybody do your share. Holy crap, who's that? Is that Big Comfy Couch? I think that's that weird clown from Big Comfy Couch. I think I read somewhere that Steve from Blue's Clues married that chick who played the clown, whose name I can't remember, on the Big Comfy Couch. So we're going to beat an egg with like a teaspoon of water. And that's going to be for brushing onto the pretzels later to get them nice and shiny and so that the salt sticks. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Alexa, how much time is left on my timer?
Yep, you've got 41 minutes and 15 seconds left on your timer.
Holy crap, guys, that was quick. I made that cheese dip way quicker than I thought I was gonna. It's okay. No worries. We can just hang out. I'll look at we'll look at some cookbooks that I've been looking at for inspiration, both for my own cookbook I would like to complete an author and just for inspiration to cook. I said I got led to it by Scott and Carter, if you know them, other streamers that are on the Frog Pants Network. Their Monday show, they were talking about pretzels, and I love salted pretzels. And for the longest time, for me, they were like, that's for a hockey game. That's when I get a pretzel. Gotta have it for a hockey game. And matter of fact, I think my one Sabres jersey has a mustard stain on it. This is like the only time I use yellow mustard. And pardon me staying away from the camera for another minute. I'm gonna look my music off. I don't have any yellow mustard in the fridge, do I? I do have yellow mustard in the fridge. Beer cheese is great. It's a little decadent though. And I really, really like yellow mustard on a pretzel. Like, I don't know why. It's the only time I like it. This is almost boiling. I'm gonna measure out my baking soda. 2/3 a cup, right? Yep. I got my bookmarks. Here for helping other people's project. I know you've seen me wear my Aquilo apron a bunch of times on stream. Aquilo is one of my favorite podcasts, and I helped support when their book was coming out. Look at the raccoons. So I got a bookmark and a little book plate from the author and the narrator. That's a 1/4 cup. Wrong measure. In the mail recently, and using a dash of demon in my cookbooks seemed like the right thing to do. Alright, so let me look over the instructions one more time. I've done it a couple times, but it's been a little while. So when dough is risen, divide it in half and then each half into 5 pieces, so like 10 of them. Roll each piece into a rope about 20 inches long, and then we'll do the pretzel things, and then repeat it. And then I'll have to preheat my oven and all that stuff. Let me get some music started. My music disappeared. Don't like it. Royalty free post-punk new wave witch house. Sad synth. Okay. I think I don't have my iPad is shut to go to sleep, and that's why we lost our music. I really will. I'll get to it, guys. I'll get to setting up a bed track here. How are my settings? And battery, right? Nope. It's in screens. Display? Yeah. Oh, yeah, 2 minutes. That won't do. Let's just say never for now, okay? Shut you off when I want you off. Where were we? Oh, we're gonna measure out our baking soda. Put it into one of my little cauldrons. 2/3 of a cup. Again, don't have to be super extra precise with this, but close. 1. Don't ask me the science. I don't know. But I know if you don't do this, you have problems. This is how they get that beautiful, beautiful dark brown color on your pretzels, even though they only cook at 400 for like 12 minutes. 12. Just tell. Oh, the other thing I got at TJ Maxx, more spooky kitchen stuff, was really cool kitchen towels. Look. Got like haunted graveyard and kitties and all kinds of cool looking stuff. It's Halloween every day in my house. And all my other kitchen witchy towels, I have these, like this witch and cook, this broomstick, and then what runs on line, I got all kinds of stuff. I wear the shit out of them. Like, really strung it up. How do you replace that beautiful new home? What was I going to do, guys? I don't need this anymore. I'm going to use the countertop, not my cutting board, for rolling stuff out. Got flour for rolling out. I got my baking soda. It's not quite boiling. It's almost there. I grab a cookbook for funsies. Oh, parchment. I don't know what parchment. Baking sheets. Do you all get like cravings at the same time every year? It's not even Brewfest yet, right? We're not Oktoberfest time for another like month. And oh no, I'm almost out of parch. I looked at it today and was like, no, I'm sure it's fine. But I did notice I had it come up in like my memories on Facebook that I had made these pretzels at the same time of year. Oh look, I've got like a spare just piece that happened to be in there. Well, good. That was almost a problem. Today at Aldi, I almost bought some. So, I'll put these aside for now. We don't need those until we're rolling out the pretzels. Yeah, very well preheat the oven while I've got dough rising in there. Well, how about that? Alexa, put parchment paper on the list. So, besides the wild cook, what was I looking at, guys? You want to see? Do you want to see? Some of my other nerdy cookbooks. It's not all my nerdy cookbooks, but... Oh. I didn't mean to stop this. So the World of Warcraft cookbook. What else have I made from here? I should definitely make more from here. But it's been mostly the pretzels and the cheese dip. Oh, the jerky. I make, this is the base for my jerky recipe, which is, it's the dirtiest page. So it's definitely the thing I've made the most from the WoW cookbook. It's kind of the base. You know, I add stuff to it. I modify it a little bit. Let's pull a stool over. My back's starting to hurt. I almost didn't stream today because my hips and stuff were bothering me. So, I was looking through Heroes Feast, which is the official D&D cookbook. I want to go look at an official cookbook because I'm trying to do one and I want it to be the official one for a different IP. I realized I've never made any of these, unfortunately. And what I loved is I started reading it because I love that with some cookbooks anyway. It's not just blah blah. And this has great pictures and everything from that are right up my alley. It's divided to human cuisine, elven, dwarven, halfling, uncommon cuisine, elixirs and ales. Hooray! I have some other Hearthstone drink book and other nerdy drink cookbooks too. But the first thing I noticed was this blurb from Joe Manganiello, who, if you're a True Blood fan, he was the werewolf guy, sexy werewolf guy. He's a big nerd. He was trying to make a Dragonlance movie, which it just keeps coming and going. It doesn't happen. I'm a big Dragonlance fan. I read all those books when I was a teenager and tried to hand them down to my kids. They didn't get as much into it. But he's got a blurb in here, and it's funny. It's like, for whatever reason, one of the oldest and fondest D&D memories I have burned into my mind is the recipe for Otik's skillet fried spiced potatoes and leaves from the inn of the last home, which I have. It makes me so happy that Kyle, John, Michael, blah, 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 are carrying the torch to the next generation of this cookbook. P.S. Try the halfling chili. Good to know. But I, too, if you read the Dragonlance novels and you know about Tika and Otik and eventually Cameron and the Caravan and the in the last home being in Solace, like in the treehouse, it's just such great characters and such a great story, and everybody talks about Otik spiced potatoes, Otik spiced potatoes. It's like the famous thing. Now, I had this leaves from the end of the last home, and I deeply apologize to whichever of my friends, when I was a couple years ago lamenting that I didn't have this anymore, sent it to me, and along with the second one, Lost Leaves from the Inn of the Last Home. It's not a cookbook. It has like kind of the history of Dragonlance and all the gods, explains them, the different ages, and it's got some stories, and it has songs, some just the lyrics, what the dragons of Krynn are, Lord Gunthar. There's stories in here and histories from the point of view of characters in the book. The idea is that like when Tika and Caraman take over the inn later down the road, they collect these stories. People come in and tell stories in the inn. It's got like numerology for the main characters. It's got an herbalism section that is Dalamar, Raceland's apprentice, printed or supposedly contributed. They make it look like torn out pages of Raceland's journals. It's got like herbalism stuff in there, and then runes, and then some poetry, and then songs. Some just have lyrics, but some actually have music. Yeah, Chrysania's song actually has music to it, and for different parts. And then in the back, there is some pages from Tika's cookbook. It's got Fizban's Fireball Chili, Gully Dwarf Stew, and Raceland's Tea, if you know, you know. Gnome Chicken, which is a whole silly, crazy story about how that happens. Wilder Elf Venison Bean Pot, which has venison. I might make that soon. Just to try it. I did find venison at the chef's store. So anyway, there's Otik fried spiced potatoes in here. Is potatoes, butter, onion, cayenne. That's like it. I definitely ate my own over the year and add things like paprika and garlic, and that uses a cast iron pan in the originally printed recipe in Leaves, which of course you do. I mean, like, Tika ends up using a pan as a weapon. It's kind of a very iconic thing from those books. But did I say the page? I don't think I did. It's under Otik. So they update the recipe in 29. Heroes Feast, the official D&D book, and I was a little annoyed. So, I mean, adding salt, of course, but and pepper and paprika and some garlic powder, some chives, cool. All the stuff I would add makes sense. However, they say Yukon Gold potatoes only, why are you specifying something that really takes you out of the world, right? To be that specific about your potato, you could just say a waxy potato, or even a yellow potato, and people would understand what you meant, and you could still act like you're in Krynn. But in the recipe itself, it has you cooking the onion and browning it, and then taking it all out, and then wiping out the skillet, and putting your potatoes in the microwave. And, okay, pre-cooking your potatoes in the microwave to get them started when you're going to air fry or roast or fry is great, fine. I would not, in a million years, put that in my D&D cookbook for this much revered and loved idea of a recipe. Made in this inn in a tree in Krynn. Like, no. And when your potatoes are cut small, there's no you don't need to really pre-nuke them. It's just weird. So, I guess you took the onions out and most of the oil's in there, but why are you wasting any fond that might be in the pan? Put your potatoes in. And then, you then coat your potatoes with fat in the pan and cook them until they get brown, and then flip them carefully. So you're obviously, this isn't what you would be doing in a restaurant. Careful not to rip their crusts. Yeah, this is like way too careful for what anyone would have imagined Otik's spiced potatoes to be like, in my opinion. And then they put like all the seasonings on it, and then you toss it. You were so careful to not disturb the crust on your potato, and then you're going to toss it around, so it's going to fall apart if you've cooked it that much after nuking it. And then you add the onion in and toss it around. So no. Neither of these are exactly the way I make them, because I do. What I make in my head has been Otik spiced potatoes for as long as I've been making fried potatoes for breakfast. As I started reading the books young, and the original recipe is way closer. It doesn't at least suck you out of the world. They could have just added these ingredients and used the original method and a cast iron skillet with the potatoes a little smaller. I don't. The one thing I will say is for garlic powder is good because it doesn't scorch as easily as garlic, and you just cook your potatoes. Have them kind of small so you can cook them a little slow, and then turn up a little to brown them after they're mostly cooked through. Throw your spices in then so the potato hydrates them a little bit, and then throw your onion in more toward the end when you're crisping up the potato, and put your dollop of butter, and then the butter is a consistent thing, and the Otik spiced potatoes is the amazing ingredient, and that really does add a delicious element and helps the potatoes cook through. And if you put the onions in later, they don't end up burnt. If you put in onions at the beginning like you do with most dishes, and then try to get potatoes cooked all the way to crisping, you're going to end up with burnt onions. So yes, do that later, but this cooking ahead and taking them out, I don't know. I suppose you could justify, alright, this is boiling enough, I'm going to turn it off and put the baking soda in, that you could say for restaurant prep, you could do all the onions ahead of time and then get the potatoes started cooking, like parboil them or whatever. And then when you could put orders together individually as the order by throwing some potatoes in the skillet, crisping them up, and then adding your onion and spices at the end. Like, I can see where that would work in a restaurant situation for big batches turned into small fresh ones, right? But I didn't appreciate the microwave in my D&D cookbook. As much as, I'm sure Tika would have loved to have had a microwave on a busy day in the restaurant. So anyway, someone, when I was lamenting having lost it somehow, probably in a breakup, I had a breakup where I had to split a lot of the Dragonlance books because I was collecting before and he was collecting, and then we had doubles, and then we were together for like a couple of years. And then, so we were only buying one copy, so that sucked. So thank you again. I'll remember someday. I'm sure I thank you profusely when you mailed me these. And it could be a number of people. I don't know if it was Chris or Tony. So I do want to make some other stuff from this, from Leaves. And the second book has a nifty thing where it's more recipes from, and I put a bookmark in here. Where's it? Look, 10 reasons why kobolds are better than draconians. So these are contributed by, again, Karaman, Najir, and Tika. And then they have this thing where this is supposedly stuck in from the trough, which is kind of the underbelly below Solace, run by, goblins and other races, and they decided to sneak their own page in here because they heard the book was getting made. Where is it? Recipes from the trough. That inn in the trees may have a height advantage over our place, but our barmaids are just as hospitable and our food is just as good. At least we think so. So we sent one of our boys over to slip these recipes into the Majir's book. If you like what you see, maybe you'll stop on into the trough. If you know what's good for you. So it's like the underworld stuff, but there's cool recipes there. And it's just a cute way to frame it. So the one I found on here I want to make is a hunter's stew. The count is for a cup and 1 3/4 pounds of venison cut into cubes, and I've got that. I have some venison that my sister gave me when I was visiting last year, and it's vacuum sealed and frozen. And so I'm going to make that recipe from the Lost Leaves from the In the Last Hope. That's on the list. Still need maybe some help from anybody out there who has Heroes Feast. If you have a suggestion of things to make, there's flatbreads and cream puffs, and maybe I'll make a drink from here though. Let me look at this for a minute. Nobody needs mushroom steaks. You don't need to act like grilling portobello's fancy. Corned beef and cabbage. Definitely turning that as dwarven, right? But yeah, there's some interesting stuff in here. I should try more from that. And from the Avatar cookbook. Oh, there's an ad playing. Damn it. YouTube. I'm not streaming.
Today's priority, finding the field. The job post is giving us responses, so I upgrade
Okay.
sponsored job.
I'm gonna get a trip in. I have one somewhere. So that I can move this pot and get this burner put elsewhere so that I have room to roll out my pretzels. It's over here. Cool. Still not cool. I mean, it's cool and that it's nifty and I appreciate its services, but I found a little piece of wax. Oh no. Some kind of sticky. I don't know where that came from. Are we almost ready, folks? Can I put some more things away? I'll check the timer. Not used to this long streaming business. How much, Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
You've got 13 minutes and 35 seconds left.
13 minutes? Guys, what are we gonna do? We looking for something else in the World of Warcraft book to make? Mango ice. Yum. Gingerbread cookies. Conjured mana buns. Okay, I kind of love that. I played a lot of World of Warcraft for a little while. And those look delicious. Very much cinnamon buns, which is what they look like in the picture. It's fair. Shovel tusk steak. I might make up some more northern spices. Oh, let me tell you the other neat thing. Ooh, peanut chicken. Yes. Are they in the front or the back? When I first got this cookbook, I got so excited. Because, oh, it's coming apart. Oh no. This is another, it's got a really cute way it's set up. This is more into mains, appetizers, that kind of sides instead of by race like the D&D one. But it talks about dietary restrictions, it talks about substitutions for, Azerothian foods. And it's got achievements. You can level up as a cook. Like, level up by making 5 dishes from each path. There's like the way of the nibble, the way of the loaf, the way of the broth, and then the way of the entree, the way of the sweet, the way of the tankard. So it's something from like each section. And then you're a master cook. Go forth and feed the masses. And it's got skill levels listed, which I really like. Just because it's cute. And I can show you how hard it is, and it's just more fun than like easy, hard, expert. It's more interesting. So the first thing in here is spices and basics, and it's got a bunch of spice blends, herb blends. It's got Pandaren, autumnal herbs, holiday spices, northern spices. This is something that if you level your cooking in World of Warcraft, which I have, you end up, you recognize these things because you need them for certain recipes. And I do have some northern spices still. I think it's the only one I have left right now. So I made these spice blends, and I made labels like this is northern spices, and it lists everything that's in it. And had little Christmas, like spruce trees on it. The Pandaren ones I did in like red with like gold and Asian-y looking font. And I chose fonts that I thought fit with the area that these of Azeroth these blends reflect, because they have cultural reflections in the real world. But the northern spices has cardamom, juniper, smoked salt, pepper, ginger, and allspice. I have all this stuff in my house right now. The other thing about that hunter stew I was going to make, it's got juniper in it, and I have a whole thing of juniper berries, so I wanted to use that, but this is in that another recipe I was looking at. But I use this a lot, and all the rest of them, this was years ago, like I've remade this one. I surprisingly haven't remade the Pandaren spice blend. It's Szechuan peppercorns, fennel, cinnamon, anise, cloves, cardamom. It's really basically a 5-spice, a version of 5-spice. So I use the hell out of it, but I have other 5-spice in the house that I'm almost out of. So maybe I'll make some more of that soon. But anyway, I got excited and I made all these. I made special labels, and I made extra ones, and I sent them to my friend Chris, who is also a cooking nerd and played WoW, and he's the kind gentleman who sent me this laptop so that I could do this stream. But years ago, for I don't know if it was Christmas or it was random, but I sent him a whole set of these Azerothian blends. The autumnal herbs. That's probably the one I used first. up because it's rosemary, thyme, marjoram. I love it. Holidays, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and pepper, northern. So 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 different blends that I really enjoyed. And what a cool gift idea, right? Like, I made it with stuff in the house. Well, I did have to order some stuff. I had never used. This was actually my introduction to Szechuan peppercorns too. Ooh, still hot. I ended up ordering those online to make the Pandaren spice blend. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna need a rolling pin. Ooh, it's gonna be the first time for this rolling pin on the stream. Finally got myself a French rolling pin. It's not a fancy one. It was cheap, but I see they're really overpriced at World Market for some reason. I've wanted this kind for a long time. My ancient one that with handles works fine. It just everything sticks to it. I don't know. All right. With this warm, humid pan here, I'm gonna bring the dough out so that I can start the oven preheating. So that once we get going, we can get going. And I'm gonna check on it. Definitely doubled up. Or almost. My husband texted me earlier that he's having a really great night with his voice and sorry and missing his kid. That's not gonna make me feel terrible. Oh, kicked me in the ass for streaming even though I was having pain earlier. I took a nap. If you're in my Discord, you're just seeing like, I'm sorry, I'm trying. So I have been planning to my hips and my foot started bothering me earlier, so I did not. This beer is wonderful. I get bats whenever I get homesick. So we'll see what I end up making. I'm gonna make some pretzel-shaped pretzels. I don't think we have any hot dogs. I don't think they're on sale, so I don't bother making. I don't think I'll make buns. I should have to ask the boys if they're interested in any buns for burgers. Let me do that. But I think I'll make some little niblets too. Are you just like burgers now? You're working. Okay, but are you interested in like a pretzel roll? Sure. I mean, I'm making pretzels, but I'll only make buns if somebody's gonna eat them. Dad probably is a good deal. So figure chicken nugget. Hey, are you interested in like having burgers around?
I used to be a spy until you're out, Mike. Then I'll find a way to get back in. Get me a sniper rifle and some C4.
I can understand that. They're good, but they're a lot, right? With that chew, sometimes with a burger, especially. And they can overwhelm any but the best hot dog. But they're really great with like a brat. Well, not a brat. I don't like brats. I like Polish sausage. And with the right burger, like. Yeah. Anyway, they don't care. So I won't be making buns today, but you can. Same dough, same process. Those little niblets. I'm just worried about them baking faster than the full pretzels. I don't want to burn any. So I might, if I do that, just do them on a separate sheet so I can keep a closer eye. Makes sense, right? My son finally remembered to give me all the lids for the Calphalon pans he gave me when I was there this weekend, which is cool. Alright, I think I'm going to call this close enough. Because that doubled up nicely. Thank you to blooming my yeast. Alexa, how much time left on my timer?
2 minutes and 51 seconds left.
Alexa, cancel my timer. 2 minutes. Look at that. We're fine. Everything's fine. Okay. She just said something. I don't know what it was, but I wish she wasn't being weird at me. Okay. Beauty. Tray. Do. Oh, I got a fruit fly flying around. Damn it. That's not cool. Okay, so let's have this. And then that's 5-ish. It's 5, but are they equal? No. Not too concerned. So, the basic is to get you guys to see what we're doing here for shape. I'm gonna roll these so they're even them out. You want to get to about 20 inches long. How long is 20 inches? Should I get a ruler? Do we need a ruler? Let's get a ruler. Just to be like that for now. I'll put it here. So here to here. So pretty much all the way from my tray to my pot. Because they're going to puff up a little again when we dip them in that hot water. And we don't want our knot to just close up completely. It's nice and stretchy. You got a little play to not have to have it on the board rolling it all the time where it's bouncing back. Let it stretch. Don't want to break it, obviously. Beaut. Okay. So, U shape, twist it twice if you want, and then it gets to a pretzel shape when you pull the ends up to where the U was. Got that? Got it? Easy pretzel. Let's put it on a sheet for now, just to get out of the way. I've got to decide if I want to dip as I go. I'm going to need spatulas too, though, because I think I use 2 spatulas when I do this dipping so I can pull them in and out. But yeah, no, let's roll out more pretzels. Roll out the pretzels. Like I said, you can do other shapes. You can just do a bunch of little niblets. You can do sticks. You can twist them Like if you twist the sticks, go one way and the other way, you can almost make it pretty. You can do 2 sticks and wrap them around each other like you would a coil, like a braid, like this. You can do this and make pretzel sticks that way for dipping. I'm gonna make a few more of these though, just so you can see the way to make the traditional shape. U over each other, back up this way, and it flips onto being a pretzel. Tradition wear? I don't know. Bavaria? This is Brewfest, so this is Dwarven. That's why there's beer in my cheese. I think Rob actually asked me, like, oh, is it like a Dwarven recipe? I'm like, what do you think? It's Brewfest. He's like, oh yeah, Iron Forge. I love the events they did in World of Warcraft. Like, I used to do those holidays. Like, the little races and get prizes. And okay, this one went weird on me, but it's fine. It's okay. And you always mess with them and stretch them, and don't worry if they're not perfect, no one cares. They're delicious. So I find this pretty good to start about halfway up. And let gravity do some of the work as you roll up, and then flip it. And then start toward the middle again and get rolling. And let it stretch and twist. And by the time you get up there, you've gotten to about your 20 inches. Flip. Like, the description says a U shape and this and that. It doesn't really explain that you have to flip that twisted part over. At least not in the description in this book. And if you want it a little thinner, that's good too, because the more gap you have in these holes, the better, because you're going to see they're going to puff up when you put it in the warm water. It's like another boost to the yeast. Kind of like when you put bread in the oven. Like, you could raise it for hours, you could raise it twice for hours, and it's still gonna go poof up, ideally. When okay, this one went a little wonky. When you put it in the oven, right? From the heat blast. Can I get these all on one tray? I think I can fit most of them on one tray. Probably not when they're puffed up all the way, so. I started that one. I didn't go quite far enough in the one direction, so. Now if you're more comfortable doing it here, I don't know why I got the rolling pin out. I don't know what I was thinking. That's not really the tool for the job. I guess I was just excited because I wanted to use it. Maybe that'll help me choose my next recipe from one of these books. I'll do something that requires a rolling pin. It's more even. Roly, roly, roly. You can't just do one. See? 2. Let's do that way. Maybe that'll help you see better. You don't have to do that extra twist in the middle. But I'm going to say yes. And you can do it after like that too, if it's easier for you. But that's going to, if you don't, it's going to, when you are trying to dip it and take it out of this water, which is the only really pain in the ass, the more difficult part of this recipe. Most difficult part, I think. It's going to want to unknot. That extra loop really is helpful. Turns out my husband's gig might be canceled tomorrow. I was really bummed about that. Like, I have a friend who has a music festival every year, Mountain Shadow Music Festival in North Carolina here, and I've never gotten to go. There's always been conflict, and a lot of times it's been like people dying and stuff, and this time it was just Rob had gigs both the main nights, and I ended up not going to today's. But I would probably be a wreck if I was trying to go up on the mountain for a festival today. And then tomorrow's might be canceled because of weather. And I don't have a ticket because they're sold out. And Bob seemed really mad I've never made it to his festival, but I've had good reasons. And now this year's reasons dissipated and there's not tickets. So it's not really my kind of music, most of it that gets played there, but it's really excellent people and company, and I can appreciate any kind of music, really. As long as there's some variety, it's just not all one thing all the time. There's really, really talented people. But maybe next year. Okay. 2 more. Okay, I think what's going to happen, because the oven is preheated, is I'm going to get these dipped and back on the tray, ready to go in the oven, and then I'm going to make some niblets with those other 2 pieces of dough. Let me see what I got in here. Definitely want this spatula, maybe a slotted one. Oh. Alright, folks. Let's move this here and see the trickier bit. I can move this closer now. So, we're dipping our pretzels in this water, splashing it over. So you do want the whole thing. Just leave it for like a minute. See it puff up a little. And get it back on here. Ooh, it's sticky. Be careful. This will help it stick to itself as well, so your knot doesn't come undone. I'm curious what it says, how long to do this, what the cookbook says. I don't remember. I'll print the page. Or I'll take a screenshot of the page and put it in my Discord if you join my Discord. And you'll be able to follow this recipe if you're not following along with me right this minute. 30 seconds to a minute. So, plenty of time. Probably could have given those other ones a little longer. But you don't want it too long because it'll start to get mushy and give you a problem. I'm going to give this one a little longer. No, I'm not. It's stuck now. It lives there now. I think I did a better job kneading this than the last time I made it. You do want to be splashing this. Make sure the whole thing gets the baking soda water. And this one was, man, you thought this was going to be harder, didn't you? Oh, I should show you the honey I got for the wing sauce competition. I told you I was gonna get some local honey for this, right? And I have to make a whole bunch of the sauce. Look. Isn't it beautiful? This is from my friend Diane's Partridge Hill Farms. My favorite local honey producers. Ugh. Yeah. This one's tucked up nice. Drain good. Butte. I'm doing one at a time. You could do a couple at a time, but the risk is not worth the reward, in my opinion. Stuck to each other and coming apart while you try to get them apart is a nightmare. I've done this in a taller sided pan before, actually always, because it was my stock pan until I got this. I don't know why I didn't just use a Dutch oven, because 10 cups of water. Probably I was afraid the baking soda, you see how it did puff up when I added it to the boiling water. I was worried about it overflowing, but I used this pan and it didn't. It was fine. It doesn't expand quite as much. You can see it expanded to like here. Here? Yeah, it didn't overflow. I was prepared. This one's going a little wonky on me, so pull it out and try to reform it a little. Just so it looks a little more pretzely again. Alright. And last, we're looking for the sheet. Now you don't want too big a thick part in the middle. I'm going to try to open these holes here so that they do get nice even bake. Because sometimes they'll close up, like, oh, you can't see. Yes, you can. This one was closed up, and I did want to open that again. Because otherwise you get kind of just a bigger cakey, hunk of pretzel in the middle, and it's not as easy to pull apart to dip. Which is the fun of the pretzel shape. Okay. Did I say how long? I forgot how long, guys. Dag nabbit. Oven's preheated. 12 minutes, so it's nice and dark now. But first, this is egg beaten with about a teaspoon of water. Brush them with that. Place I'm doing to the wing sauce competition does a beef on whack, and they get local rolls instead of making their own, and they add the kimmelweck and the salt, or kimmelweck, the caraway seeds and salt, and they use a cornstarch wash or something, because they don't want to risk egg, but egg I don't find to be all that risky when you're cooking this tiny bit.
Important safety information. Increased risk of death in elderly people with dementia-related psychosis. Medicines like Rexulti can raise the risk of death in elderly people
But,
who have lost
do what you gotta do, I guess.
psychosis due to confusion and memory loss. Dementia.
Introducing to people to beef on whack who've never had it
Related psychosis
is worth a lot of fuckery.
may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Do not take Rexulti
And you don't have to pay a whole bakery to adopt making them for you like some places. I made really, really good ones from scratch some years ago, but I wouldn't be, I'm not equipped to do that every day. Okay. Here you go. Whoosh. Some nice coarse salt. I'm just going to use the kosher salt. I don't have special, there is such a thing as extra coarse, like pretzel salt or whatever, but we're not doing that. And fleur de sel is too delicate. It'll probably melt. So, what do I have in here? I think I have sea salt instead of kosher salt in here. I do. I'm gonna go get the kosher salt.
Part of dyskinesia may also start after you stop taking Rexulti. Problems with your metabolism, such as high blood sugar, hyperglycemia, and diabetes. Increases in blood sugar can happen in some people who take Rexulti. Extremely high blood sugar can lead to coma or death.
Alrighty.
Your provider should check
So,
your blood sugar before you start.
wait till you see the beautiful color they are
And then regularly
when they come out.
with Rexulti. Call your healthcare provider if you develop any of these symptoms of high blood sugar during treatment with Rexulti.
And you could go completely mad with the salt if you want, but
Feel very hungry. Feel sick to your stomach.
a good amount is a good amount. You can always knock it off too,
Weak or tired.
instead of
Feel confused.
ending up
or
with
affects muscle
not
function.
any.
Increased fat levels.
Don't you hate that?
swelling
You get a
triglycerides in your blood.
pretzel somewhere and all the salt came off.
Levels in your blood before you start or soon after you start Rexulti, and then periodically during treatment with
Holy
Rexulti.
crap, YouTube, stop with the commercials.
Weight gain. You and your healthcare provider should check
I wonder how Twitch feels about that. I hope it doesn't freak out. Like, wouldn't that be funny to get like a strike or silence on Twitch over overhearing YouTube commercials because that's what I'm using for my music in the background? Alright.
Other compulsive urges include
That's it, well, that's it.
If you or your family members notice that you are having
Sounds right to me.
unusual strong urges,
And let's make some more.
Your
Do.
healthcare provider may do blood tests during the first few months of treatment with Rexulti.
I don't know.
Decreased blood
Here. Okay, let's make a couple more. Niblets. Let's make niblets. Niblets for niblets. With my awesome cheese sauce. Beer cheese sauce, even. Okay, so for this, not gonna go as thin.
Maybe even one for food. Plan from home, sir, is like a subscription for peace of mind. When the covered system breaks, we'll send a quality contract.
Kind of want fatty, little fat niblets. I feel like when I've seen niblets, they've had like divots in them. It can't hurt, right? Might make them pretty. I'll put little divots in my niblets. That'd be a show title if I was doing show titles. I don't think that bot's active right now. Alright. So these are about 1.5 inches. No, just a little over 1 inch. Ah! That didn't work because it hit my yardstick. Let's put these divots. That's my idea. If it doesn't work, it's not my fault, guys. If it doesn't work, then don't do it. I should have done it with only some of them, but, you know, genius. Okay, I have a better tool for the niblets. Wash a couple things just to make it a little bit off. Which will be better. And that's the other tool. I got my feet still wet. There it is. I have a spider. Looking for my spider. You know what spider is? Mine's not like that. Spider! It looks like a web, but it's a spider. This is going to be a great tool. In my opinion. We'll see how it works. Yeah. You know what? I can throw all these in here. And let's turn around. so they don't stick to each other. Okay, I'm not gonna get rid of that yet because I'll use it to scrape flour. This counter off of my workbench. Wipe some crap off. Ugh, I gotta wipe my drawers. Didn't really account. Wipe my drawers. Okay, phrasing. I didn't really account for as much as I should have for how much I'd be touching my drawer handles while I was streaming with food in my hands. Just slide these quick so they don't stick to each other. Beautiful. And we're done with all this. And egg wash.
Make money easily with no selling fees on Depop. Download now.
Oh, this is going to be a lovely snack. What time is it? Oh, time Rob's show goes till 10:11 right now. So he'll get done with his show. All the bars here are only open till like 11. Well, only the ones I would go to. It's a little bit of a bummer. I'm not going to have these done in time to take them out for a drink with me and share with people. But Rob will come home from his show and we will have a lovely, a delicious snack. These are blue because we have some blues we picked up when we were at Wegmans in Raleigh, or might be some local beers we also got in Raleigh at a new place we discovered. It's in my hand. And be careful and oversalt these. I don't want to. Like I said, I can knock it off and the other side doesn't have any. Did I put some there? I can't see. Dark! Lighting sucks here for doing this at night. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, this kosher salt will just dump into my regular salt cellar, my salty cellar. I also got Fleur de Sel. Did I tell you? Did I have that yet? Really cheap at TJ Maxx when I went Halloween kitchen stuff hunting, which I will be doing more of. Unlike Michael's being completely taken over as soon as the July 4th passed, I feel like TJ Maxx still just has their stuff filtering in. Put some stuff away. We'll be almost cleaned up. These come out of the oven. Looks like 5 minutes. Seriously, guys, have you seen these trash things on TikTok? I really think I need to get it. I don't know why I resist. And it's a super cheap buy, and I haven't gotten anything from there that's been a complete failure. But like, it would be super handy. Like right now, I have it here, clipped on this drawer, and opens up, and I just scoop this stuff into it. And you can put, whatever in it, like reuse your grocery bags or whatever, with little trash bags, or just use it as a can and then go dump it. Of course, it'll probably stop showing up in my feed now. You've had enough chances. Alright. You good? Wasted much. Only like a tablespoon of flour here. ones I got for the street. These white kitchen or white bar towels. These were an Aldi find. And I'm not sure about the care of this that I use. I'm using Murphy's for my lovely workbench setup I have. Gosh, this made me so happy. I still gotta find stools. I found some that look like they might be the right height. I took a note to keep in my phone so I know the height of this, so I can get some stools we can sit at when we do want to have family dinner in the holidays out here, because it replaced my kitchen or my dining room table, which is now over there with my dehydrator and my instant pot and other stuff that I'll be, when I stuff sausage, I'll have to do it over there, because this doesn't have a lip to clamp my stuffer on. So, it looks a little grainy now, doesn't look as creamy. It's fine. When it heats, it will be creamy again. Let me put some, I'd love to put some in cruet, but I think my son has them all in his fucking room. Oh, it's dirty. Okay. Bring this back over here. You can look at my niblets. Do you love my niblets? Are we going to wait for them to come out? We're going to have to wait for the pretzels to cool anyway. For a little bit before tasting and getting out of here. Yeah, let's not. Stop it, you. How long are we going? 2:04. What? How did I go 2 hours? I didn't think we took that long. Especially because, like, I feel like the dough didn't take us as long as I thought it was gonna. So bummed. Oh well. That's okay. I told y'all ahead of time it was gonna be longer than normal. Let's see how this yummy beer cheese nukes. I'm not gonna nuke it quite yet because I put it in my probably on new video. 10 seconds or something. Let's check out pretzels. Wow. I'm gonna do a couple more minutes. We need 3 more minutes, so let's make it 15, guys. They're beautiful golden brown. I want them darker. How much of that is a function of my dip time? I don't think it is, because they all are about the same color. So I'm just going to give them a few more minutes to darken up. We can continue to put stuff away. My burner's cooled down and go back in the drawer. I have a seat here. Oh, his back's hurting again. Dang, have it. Wow. Well, that's okay. Worth it, right? We made 2 things. We did something that was a freaking bread that rose. And we're still going to probably, I don't know, go around 2:15. Sorry, I'm too lazy to edit, but you can always fast forward through me bullshitting about my nerd cookbooks, or some of my nerd cookbooks. Why is there a mute? Oh, for a minute I thought I was muted in the stream. Like, no, okay, I can see my bar there. Like, it's just muted on my stream manager, so I'm not echoing and echoing. My beer's gone. And granted, it was like less than a half a beer because I used most of it with the cheese. I think no one came to the stream. Re-enter my credentials. Shut up. Oh, it's OneDrive. Bugger off. I don't use you anymore. Do I? I don't know. 3 viewers. Well, thanks for lurking, whoever is here. I appreciate you. Where do you see my pretzels? Have you ever made pretzels? What else we got? Come to my Discord. You want to see? Oh, the other thing I got at TJ Maxx when I got my cool, spooky stuff, my new measuring cups and bat oil and vinegar set was a new shelf. If you've been here a while, you've seen stuff like I go to readjust my camera and everything comes tumbling down because I had these 2 little shelves that other people were like, what is that? It's great, because it looked like a great setup to have the laptop on and then like a shelf underneath it too to get it to height, and then I could put stuff underneath it. But those 2 shelves were not physically connected. I was using magnets, and they were okay most of the time, but not quite strong enough to lift.
What's your name?
Quite stand up to yanking this camera arm around. And I have had incidents. So they had this other shelf situation I'll show you in a minute at TJ Maxx that I picked up. Look at the beautiful. Okay, I'm going to put the niblets in for the originally prescribed 12 recipe, because they're smaller. Actually, I'm going to go 10 and check them, because they've got all the way around heat in a much smaller hunk of dough. Look how poofy. This one's very poofy. But they're nice and dark. You could leave them, they get even darker, so that they've got some room for that. Oh, let's nuke our cheese for like 9 seconds. You could just reheat it in this pan too. So here's, look at this beautiful, you see it? There's a laptop. Anyway, it's wood and like hard iron, and I've got my kitty magnet on, like iron cross pieces and wooden shelves, much more stable table situation for the laptop and for the posable arm than we had before, so I don't knock everything to hell because one shelf just falls off. The music, I suppose. Sauce is re-creamied. Seriously, it was like 9 seconds. Dish without a visible chip. I do. Pretzel on. Oh, guys. Let's taste it and take a picture. And then I want to do another picture when I have niblets. Which one do we want? I like the dark. Hot. Hot. Pretty. Yes, beer cheese. Do I have 2 on a plate just for the picture? I mean, I suppose. I'm not going to eat 2 of these. Probably not going to even eat 1, but This is for the photo. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
People on Depop really watch your style. Sell your clothes and
Well, this had an insanely long cord. Now it's acting like it doesn't. There we go.
we have a major
Everything melts a cast shadows.
ICYMI.
Now your summer forecast.
Okay,
Ariana.
There is a 100% chance of new bombshells.
that's good for now.
Love for Love Island USA season 8, and they're on the lookout for an SO IRL. Be prepared for possible NSFW disruptions. We have our top weather models tracking the system closely.
Yum.
If you're looking for a little heat, sign up for Peacock to stream Love Island USA season 8 now.
Well, that is cool, and my family has amazing treats. Do I test this now? Do you guys want to know how it tastes? I do. I mean, I've had it before, but I promise, worth it. You can see the bottom is nice and brown. It's got a pull, little snap. The crust, chewy. Mmm. All right, I'm gonna try the beer cheese, but guys, I'm sorry, it's a new thing. This is my nostalgia. This is my coffee pretzel. It's like an occasional recipe that calls for it. A friend of mine told me you had to rub your pork butt with mustard and then rub, but I find I like just rub. But we're getting some yellow mustard on there. Might have to take another picture. I don't know why. Something about the bite. Something about the bite. That yellow mustard's the right thing. Nope. Pretty. Do it like this. Yeah. Man. Okay. I'm gonna end up eating this one. Oh, tastes like hockey. Okay. I'll just get the beer cheese. This is so worth doing at home, guys. Yeah, I know. It took us 2 hours. But most of that's unattended if you're not streaming and babbling with everybody, right? Because you're whipping up the dough, you're boiling water, you're letting the dough rise. And like that beer cheese took like, what, all of 10 minutes, something like that. Like while everything else was going on. Like it was hardly go the whole time. Rob just finished his cake, heading home. I'm gonna say Domino's on his way. Huh. Okay. We're gonna wait for those niblets to see how they look. I didn't make a pizza, so if they're not open and you want to make one. Kids had pizza for dinner. Homemade pizza, but I made Indian food today, and then it was a little salty because I was kind of making it up as I went along. So I end up turning it into a stew by adding some potatoes and some chickpeas, and it's really tasty, but the chicken got like just shredded, it fell apart. So I'm not nuts about the texture, but it's really tasty. I can't eat too much at all right now at once, so I didn't have any pizza. Fletcher was kind enough to ask me if I wanted just like a piece of his before he put it away, but I declined. This is cool enough to move. They're so pretty. I'm gonna move it. I don't have to move these. Oh. Well, yeah, I kind of do because the niblets are gonna be. I put them in a bowl. Put them in a bowl. Prettier. I also got a metal funnel at the Asian store. My funnels are plastic and they get on the nerves. Stuff sticks on them and how fucking impressive would this be for your guests? Again, such a casual, fast foodie snack, but with like, put those on your table, man. Fuck yeah. This one is big pretty. Big pretty. Big pretty wants a picture. Oops. Ooh, there's something on my trivet. Looking a little rustic in the bowl.
Your home repair hotline. Electrical plants from us cover problems with your interior and exterior wiring.
That warm light's making the dough look really yellow when it's not brown. It's kind of weird. Didn't expect that. Okay, let's look at our niblets. Not too worried about them. I'm gonna wipe this trivet off. I don't know how I got all over it. Yes, I'm gonna come in. Yes, 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and give them another like 4. And my finger had it split open. Should have maybe wore gloves. My skin is doing still horrible things trying to escape my body. This new eczema situation that's decided to crop up that, I don't know. I went to a dermatologist. I find that remedy to be bullshit. Doesn't seem to work. So I'm moisturizing like crazy because I was supposed to not moisturize and now I'm supposed to moisturize. But I think I'm going to ask my doctor, my regular doctor, about HRT. This could be a postmenopausal situation. And something's got to make it stop because, oh my god, it's painful. And it's like randomly super itchy. Like, so that I'm digging at the skin, which you're not supposed to, but when you're asleep, you don't necessarily have control over that. And it's also doing weird stuff like attacking right around the edges of my cuticles and kind of killing those. And I'm starting to get like cracks on some of my fingers, so not fun. Oh, beautiful beer cheese. I'll show you the niblets and then we'll go. I'm not gonna. Oh, I don't know be out there. Hang around. Oh, I'm too full to eat any more of this. One successful snack. Shit. Thanks for being here. Let me direct you while I'm here, and we're waiting that just a couple minute on the niblets to 9of12.com. It's NINEOF12.com. I don't know why the Ko-fi thing is the only thing showing up my fucking bot. I have to look at my bots. You can absolutely tip me anytime. I'm not trying to nag you, but if you join my Discord, we have conversations going on there. If you go to 9of12.com, it'll point you to all my stuff, my YouTube page, my other shows that I do, as well as the Discord. I should maybe put my wish lists on there. I don't know, but you can find me on Amazon if you want to help contribute any things that I want to use on the stream to my stream. I lost viewers. Oh well. But yeah, definitely stay by, stay tuned, follow if you're not. I always love having people show up in the chat. Sometimes I get really good input and suggestions from my followers. Apparently, most of my followers are having a good time. It's a Friday night. Yeah, these are sexy. Pulling them out now. So, go ahead and feel free to give these viewers 12 to 13 minutes. The recipe calls for, and even though it's not a whole pretzel, they came out great. Just beautiful. So I hope you're having a great Friday night. I hope you have a lot of great Friday nights. I hope you decide to make these pretzels for your friends, for your family, for your fans. Until then, I look forward to cooking with you soon.